Has been in full display as the world is celebrating the 9th International Day of Yoga. Indian diaspora from across the world has been holding events to celebrate the big day.
Modi, 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 Modi.
Clearly, a lot of excitement there. The United Nations, the seat of international cooperation, is the stage for the display of this soft power, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who received a red carpet welcome on American soil, is clearly the star of the event. The Prime Minister has been part of the International Yoga Day celebrations, this time leading the historic session at the United Nations headquarters in New York. The Prime Minister's session has seen attendance of top UN officials, envoys from across the world, and many prominent individuals. Well, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in his speech, said yoga unites and yoga is a unifying force that benefits everyone around the world, even at a time when the world is so deeply divided and a dangerous place. He added that the practice brings in a haven of calm and promotes mental well-being.
Modi, 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 Modi.
All right, so it is a big day, and to talk about that, we are now joined by Dr. Mickey Mehta, global leading holistic health guru and corporate life coach. Dr. Mehta, welcome to News 9 Live. As I said, it is a special day, but it's been made doubly special by the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the UN headquarters in New York today, leading the celebrations. How big do you think this really is for the promotion and popularity of yoga all over the world? I mean, it's an ancient practice that's already become so huge globally, especially in the United States.
You know, I'm not surprised, because way back in 30s, 40s, Swami Vivekananda, Yogi Paramahansa, then the era of B.K. Iyengar came in, then the era of, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi alongside. Then, of course, Sri Ravi Shankar ji, Baba Ramdev, Sadhguru, Mahansa ji of the Yoga Institute. I am not surprised that yoga will come to Olympics soon. Yoga has been at the grassroots level of our civilization. The mother principle of yoga is about connect, join, networking of spirit, soul, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, everybody becoming one in unison. That is the kind of networking I'm talking about. Yoga is here for the refinement, evolution of human mind to begin with, and the byproduct of which also refines, regulates, and fortifies the human body. Yoga literally brings about cessation of the mind, clears your mind of fog and clutter, and brings about an open sky. Your mind is like a sky, and thoughts are like clouds. If you play with them, you stay with them. So when you do yoga, especially meditation and pranayama, you disrupt the memory of the past, anxiety of the future, and you completely dissolve into the here now, where only pure awareness, pure consciousness, pure spontaneity, and pure intelligence is available. So yoga is confluence of energies which otherwise don't know how to get harmonized, because there's a pull and push. So yoga is the conscious process of confluence of energies getting harmonized at the Shunyam quotient, at the zeroth state. And Ganga comes from here, Yamuna comes from here, at a point in Prayagraj. At the Shunyam quotient, there is Sangam, Milan, and unison was born, and Saraswati is born. So yoga gives rise to new identities. Yoga creates new entities. Yoga births harmony. Yoga is also your sacred geometry, getting congruent with the geometry of the cosmos. Your unit rhythm, your circadian rhythm, aligning with the cosmic rhythm. Yoga is all about your prefrontal cortex connecting with the mankind 8 billion minds. And yoga is about limbic resonance of connecting with the whole universe. May it be a tree, may it be a bird, may it be a bee, may it be a rock, may it be oceans, rivers, lakes. One uniformity, one invisible energy is what yoga brings you to. So in Hindi we say, स्वयं में स्थित, स्वयं में उपस्थित, स्वयं में होना, स्वयं को होने देना. And the West is chasing this. Internationally, yoga is being marketed well, sold well, but sorry to say, most of the yoga is nothing but circus out there. When you see our yogis, look at Baba Ramdev, look at the seriousness and the devotion, not just in the practice of body postures, but in the chanting, in the breath discipline, and in the settlement of meditation, and in the spirit of yoga. There is so much of objective goals to be achieved for evolution of mankind. Yoga builds personalities and characters. Yoga brings you postures, so yoga brings you patience. Yoga, you need strength, internal core strength to hold it, so yoga brings tolerance. Yoga needs absolutely focus attention in the here now to hold the posture in balance. So yoga brings you in here now with absolute attention and your mind in the movement. Yoga helps you transcend and teleport into dimensions, and because of the rhythm, because of the flow, and because of the synchronicity of your movement and breath, yoga brings you intuitions, empathy, sympathy, foresights, insights, and moreover, when you're still. Yoga brings you sattva guna, bhavas, karuna. जो मन का मारा वो मनुष्य, जो योग और प्रकृति से पूरा होता है वो पूरक होता है. जो पूरक होता है वो पुरुष पुरुषार्थ होता है, पुरुष उत्तम होता है, शायद वही पुरुषोत्तम राम होता है. And this is not the Rama I'm talking about of Ramayana only. This is the Rama of Amar Amrit. जब अमृत की धारा सहस्त्रा से लेके मूलधार तक का सफर करती है तो कृष्ण की करुणा राधा बनके लौट आती है. Yoga allows human consciousness to rise above gods, and without yoga it can fall below animals. So Krishna, Christ, Muhammad, Mahadev, Zarathustra, Buddha, they were yogis without even knowing that they were yogis. They were yogis. The life of refinement, the life of austerity, the life of samastiti, the life of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the life of feeling no separation from the other and being no other and self-realizing it all. Rishimunis, typically Rishimunis, they were scientists, they were poets, they were philosophers. So Ri of Ri comes from Rikta, emptiness, silence. So Rikta is that emptiness. Then comes Rita, the regulatory principle of the universe, correcting and repairing the forces of entropy, time, matter, space, light, motion, mass, causation, effect. So Rita is a regulatory principle. So in stillness comes the regulation. Then comes Rita. From regulation comes regulated seasons, circles and cycles. Sansara, Sanskar, Sanskriti, Sansar ki Kirti. So cycles of life. From Ritu, then comes rhythm. From rhythm is born Hriday, and from Hriday is Ritambara Pragya. So yoga is being marketed as the ancient wisdom tradition which can not just build characters and personalities but build nations, build this universe and connect us all. And Modi ji is doing a perfect job connecting and weaving all together in one fabric we call yoga.
Well, very, very well explained, I must say. Yoga isn't just about physical health. This is about holistic well-being. I don't think anyone could have described it better. Dr. Mehta, just stay on with us because we want to play out for our viewers what UN Chief Antonio Guterres has said about the power of yoga on International Yoga Day. Let's listen into him and we will be right back with you.
yoga offers a haven of calm. It can reduce anxiety and promote mental well-being. It helps us to develop discipline and patience. It connects us to our planet, which so badly needs our protection. And it reveals our common humanity, helping us to understand that despite our differences, we are one. On this International Day of Yoga, let us embrace the spirit of unity and resolve to build a better, more harmonious world for people, planet, and ourselves.
Look at this beautiful spread. I think for him to leave India, to come here, represent himself and all Indians across in the main heart of the entire world, the United Nations.
Happy International Yoga Day, and hope everybody in the world will be happy and healthy.
हम लोग बहुत भाग्यशाली हैं कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी आज हमारे पास मौजूद हैं योगा डे सेलिब्रेशन करने के लिए। ये उन्हीं का ही एक क्रिएटिव बीज है जो छोटी सी पंखुड़ी से लेके आज एक इतना बड़ा वृक्ष बन गया, जिसने कि यूनाइटेड नेशन ऑल अराउंड द ग्लोब, one common organization has now accepted yoga as a part of the practice.
I love yoga and I've been doing yoga for many years, and so this is a fantastic opportunity to be doing yoga with the Prime Minister.
Very special, important event because I've practiced yoga for 5 years, and being able to be in the UN with Prime Minister Modi, it's a life-changing event for me because I'm studying international relations, so it's like a combination of my work at the UN.
Clearly, a lot of excitement around the world and particularly in New York on the occasion of International Day of Yoga. Dr. Mickey Mehta, let me come back to you. You know, we heard the UN Secretary General there saying in a deeply divided and dangerous world, yoga is a haven of calm and peace. I think he's put it really well. But I want to ask you this question. You earlier mentioned that even though a lot of what goes on in the name of yoga in other parts of the world, including the United States, may be a bit of a circus, there are also yoga spin-offs there such as hot yoga and yin yoga and yoga light. I'm not sure how much you approve of those forms and versions of yoga, but I don't think that one can, think of any other example of the ancient heritage and practice of one nation being adopted on such a massive scale globally. I don't think there is a parallel to the popularity of yoga. What explains this wild popularity, according to you?
You know, India has been always respected for the mystical properties and for the mystical people and the mystics. Okay? We've come out with concepts like Atmachintan, Amrit Manthan, Kalpa Vruksha, and Imagination Sankalpa. So yoga brings you also to the state of Ekta mein Anekta, Anekta mein Ekta. So there is multiplicity in universality and there is universality with multiplicity. They all coexist. Very, very important. Yoga typically is a great connection of dots which are invisible, completely invisible. Yoga asanas, yoga philosophy, they bring you to a point of absolute submissiveness, surrender. So samarpan. So when samarpan happens, santulan happens. So yoga is about santulit being. So adhyatmik, mansik and bhautik santulan. So neutralizing your doshas. So once you're in samarpan, you get santulan. Once there is samarpan and santulan, you get samarthan of the universal energy, urja prana. Once you get the samarthan of Ishwar, then you become samarth, all capable. Once you get samarth, you become saksham, all potential. Once you become saksham, then you have sankalpa, your determination to manifest. Once there is sankalpa, then you have a laser sharp focus. Then you create your own shrishti, your own samruddhi. This is the reason the power of yoga is now understood by the West, and everybody wants to follow it for the invisible, mystical, invincible attributes of yoga, which can make every human being a god. Krishna, Christ, Muhammad, Mahadev, Zoroaster, Buddha, They became gods. What stops you and me? Only yoga can make a dead man walk and a dumb man talk. So let's do yoga, take it to the world, and let's wear it on our sleeve as a pride of India. Thank you, Modi ji. We will be there in taking this to the universe and beyond. We will take it to aliens also.
Maybe it has already reached the aliens. Maybe we just don't know it yet. But you know, on a more serious note, every year we talk about the magic and power of yoga and the fact that it is, of course, popular globally. But today, we're talking about the popularity of yoga, particularly in the United States for obvious reasons, because our Prime Minister is not only on a historic state visit to the US, Dr. Mehta, but he is leading Yoga Day celebrations at the United Nations headquarters. As you said, this is really a moment of pride for India. I mean, this is an Indian export to the world at the end of the day, probably our most popular export. I just want to share with our viewers, Dr. Mickey Mehta, some interesting statistics that I found in my research, and I'd like your thoughts on this. Now, this is quite mind-boggling that while India may have given birth to the practice of yoga, many would argue that America is now the commercial center of yoga. Why do we say that? Because according to the data that we have, the United States spends a whopping $16 billion annually on yoga. It is an entire industry there. There are 7,000 yoga studios per capita in the United States, more than anywhere else in the world. And like I said, you don't just have a form of yoga, you have multiple versions of yoga there, some of which you may not approve of. But what explains the wild popularity of yoga, particularly in the United States? I mean, these figures are absolutely staggering.
So the whole society in early 50s, 60s and 70s moved towards materialism, capitalism. That society moved so much away from the center that the society got broken. The broken society, unfulfilled society needs this more. And it is, sorry to say, somewhat a sick society. It needs to get healed. 30 to 40% of Americans are on sleeping pills. 50% plus more Americans need psychiatric care. Now, these numbers suggest and they validate the need for yoga in America. So because it's needed, it's being sold. But the misfortune here is 80 to 90% people who sell yoga there are not selling the real stuff. The real Indian pristine yoga, no hot yoga, no power yoga, no fast yoga, intense yoga. Oh my God, save us all. Yoga is yoga submaximal, low intensity, orchestration, integration, regeneration, which brings you from discomfort to comfort, disorder to order, disorientation to orientation, disintegration to integration, dis-ease to ease, and from decay, death, taking you to eternity.
Again, very well explained, Dr. Mickey Mehta. No wonder you're a much sought after yoga guru. And we have another yoga guru joining us at this point, Ira Trivedi, renowned yoga instructor and author. Welcome to the show, Ira Trivedi. And before we talk about yoga on this big day of International Yoga Day, I'd say congratulations are in order. Many congratulations on your wedding. And so, I'm guessing this must be a special yoga day for you in multiple ways.
You know, I must say that I timed my wedding around International Yoga Day so that I would finish my wedding and have enough time between my wedding and International Yoga Day. In fact, the dates that we were getting, which were right on International Yoga Day, and for a moment I thought, let me get married on International Yoga Day. That would be apt for me to have my wedding on that day. But then I thought that it would be too chaotic. So I said, let's have two occasions to celebrate let's celebrate my wedding and then let's celebrate International Yoga and let's keep it separate. So I have to let you know that this was planned, and International Yoga Day made
This is
was a
amazing. I
definite
have to say,
point
this
that I
is a
was-
fascinating story. One that you can narrate to your kids and grandkids one day. And I'm sure that the husband clearly knows where your priorities lie. So it's a good thing you set the record straight
Yes.
on that one.
I feel this International Yoga Day is the most important day of the year for me, and I cannot compromise on that no matter what, even if it's my wedding. So that's how we actually did it. So yeah.
I'd say more power to you, Ira Trivedi. But you know, we celebrate Yoga Day every year. There is no doubt that it's becoming more and more wildly popular with every passing year. But this year is particularly special. Why? Because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is leading Yoga Day celebrations at the United Nations headquarters in New York. So this is India really taking ownership of this magical ancient practice of yoga. You know, and I was just talking to Dr. Mickey Mehta about this. It's mind-boggling. One cannot think of any other example of one country's ancient practice being adopted on such a massive global scale. Why do you think people are so obsessed with yoga globally?
And in fact, I just want to say that I think India's most important and most powerful export to the world is yoga, on a cultural level, on a spiritual level. And yoga is not a big industry within our country, but internationally, yoga is a huge industry. It's $1 trillion industry, and it's growing, you know, year by year. So I feel really proud as a yoga teacher that yoga has made such an impact on lives, of course, in our country, but around the world. And that truly shows that flexibility, you know, is the name of the game here. Yoga is truly a flexible practice, and it's adapted to different religions, adapted to different body types. It's adapted to so many different forms and ways. And I think that's wonderful. It's a wonderful practice. I think also, you know, yoga is
Okay, we seem to be having a bit of an audio problem there with Ira Trivedi's line. We will fix that in just a moment. But of course, Ira there, the renowned yoga instructor that she is, was telling us about the magic and sheer power of yoga and how yoga as an industry seems to be so much bigger internationally than actually in India. Ira, we'd lost the line there to you temporarily. You back with us now. Please go ahead, complete your thoughts.
Great. Now you can, yes, perfect. So I was saying that, you know, I feel that our ancient gurus have designed this practice for modern times, and the relevance of yoga today in our lives is so much because we live in very toxic environments. The cities that we live in, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat has so much toxicity in it, and that's why there's so much disease. So yoga is the best, the finest, the cheapest, and the most effective way of detoxifying the body. And if our body is less toxic, the mind automatically becomes less toxic. There's a direct body-mind connection. So I really feel that yoga has become so popular because it is also the need of the hour. People are seeing the benefits of yoga in their day-to-day life, and yoga has been adapted for kids, for senior citizens, for disease, for very fit people. So that's the beauty of yoga. And I really feel that on this International Yoga Day, it is such a powerful and strong day. We should really, you know, we should really make the sankalpa to incorporate yoga into our daily lives.
You're quite right. You know, I was just discussing this earlier with Dr. Mickey Mehta, and I'd like your thoughts on this, Ira, since you talked about how it seems to be a bigger industry internationally than in India. Some data that I came across during my research actually left me quite astounded. According to this, the United States spends $16 billion annually on its yoga industry. There are 7,000 yoga studios per capita in the United States, more than anywhere else in the world. And even though purists like Dr. Mickey Mehta don't approve, but as we know, there are multiple versions or avatars of yoga. There isn't just simply yoga. There is hot yoga, there is yin yoga, there is yoga light. I mean, clearly, this is huge in the United States.
Absolutely. And I actually I agree with it because I feel that different bodies need different practices and not one practice can fit everyone. So some people who have a lot of rajas in their body, a lot of, a lot of activity, they need to get it out. Otherwise it fuels into negative directions. For them, hot yoga can be very, very good. I've met people who have cured a lot of disease by hot yoga and had huge transformation. Yin yoga is for those people who need to de-stress their systems, need to really connect with their parasympathetic nervous systems, and that's a wonderful form of practice. So I actually I appreciate that the West has brought in creativity in this practice, but at the same time, I do feel that in many places in the US, authenticity has remained intact. I know there are some silly things like beer yoga and goat yoga, but I think those are just, they're just trends that come and they go. They're just a talking point. But you're right, there's so many yoga studios. In fact, there's more yoga studios in New York City than in Mumbai. Okay, maybe not as many practitioners because Mumbai is a very popular, densely populated city, but definitely more yoga studios. I also feel that the US has done a pretty good job commercializing yoga, whereas in India, it's not yet a commercial pursuit. I can tell you that yoga teachers struggle to make two ends meet. They struggle to get clients. They struggle to do things. And while our government has been very good about it, there's still an 18% taxation on yoga if you do it as a commercial venture. So while the government is promoting yoga done in a charitable way, as an industry and as a commercial industry, I still feel like we have some ways to go to be able to really make this a commercially viable industry in this country.
That is interesting. But, so let's first talk about something that you and Dr. Mickey Mehta sort of disagree on. Like I said, he's probably a purist, somebody who said that a lot of what goes on in the name of yoga, especially in foreign countries, is a circus. But you actually made a very interesting point. You said you agree that there should be other kinds of yoga such as yin yoga because, the same kind of yoga cannot and perhaps should not be practiced by every individual. At the end of the day, Ira, would you agree that this is much more than a physical exercise or routine? This is holistic well-being that we are talking about. It is something that has the power of changing our lives, and therefore we should have the liberty to tailor it to our bodily and maybe psychological needs.
I agree. I completely agree. And I also feel that while I've met gurus and swamis who said that we began our spiritual journey doing yoga. And we saw a couple of pictures on Instagram and we thought yoga looked interesting and we integrated it into our life. So I do feel that yoga has that power to draw people, and definitely it is a holistic science. It is really a science of the mind, body, and the soul all together. So I do feel that people in this age, which is inundated with information of all kinds, they need to see some newness. And when they see that newness, they get attracted. And maybe they go to a very, very modern fitness yoga class and they love it. And then they get pulled towards something which is a more sattvic spiritual practice, which is also yoga. And maybe that leads them to meditation and more subtle practices. So I think the different forms of yoga that are cropping up in the West and also in India are wonderful because all of them have the same purpose of drawing people inward. So as long as yoga retains its fundamental purpose of drawing people inward and making our minds more internal and bringing that mind, body, soul connection, then it is still yoga. That is the meaning of the word yoga. It's yoga, it's union. And when we integrate the mind, body, and soul, that can lead to very many powerful things. So I do think that what is happening with yoga around the world is fantastic because more and more people are doing yoga. And yoga is not something which is going away anytime soon. In fact, people who've never done yoga in their lives, in fact, someone like me, when I was growing up, I always looked at yoga as something so slow and so boring. I wanted to play different sports. I wanted to do swimming and basketball, and that's a lot more fun. Today I see children and they say, wow, we want to do yoga. It's so cool. It's so much fun. It's so wonderful because they're being taught yoga in a very creative way. So I actually think that I appreciate the creative energy that has been brought into yoga, and also the modern science. A lot of people are integrating now yoga with a lot of, they're integrating like physiotherapy and Pilates and yoga, and everybody needs something different. So people, when they connect to their breath and their bodies, they're just happier individuals. And so I appreciate everything.
You know, it's interesting, Ira, that you talk about how some people might have reservations. And, you know, I might sound like a space cadet saying this to you, but I'm going to make an honest confession. You know, someone like me, I have actually never, you know, in a serious sense, really tried yoga in my life. Not because I do not believe in what yoga can do for an individual, not necessarily because I find it slow and boring, as you once did when you were younger, but because, you know, I may be too lazy. I, you know, find excuses like, oh, I don't have the time for it, or maybe I feel that physically maybe I'm too inflexible to do something like this. Therefore, what would your advice be to, let's say, beginners, to people who've never done it, but are obviously fascinated by how yoga has transformed other people's lives and wonder what it would be like to actually make a fresh start? What would you say?
I would say begin with something simple. You know, thanks for sharing your story. I appreciate that. And the first step towards moving forward is accepting that, hey, listen, I'm not, you know, I'm making excuses. That's the first thing to actually recognize. So I'm glad that you recognize that. And I really hope that today is a great day for everyone to start yoga. And even if it's a very basic practice, you know, yoga doesn't have to be an hour every day. I don't get an hour every day to do yoga. I don't. As a yoga teacher, I have other responsibilities. You know, I have a company to run. I have, you know, lots of things to do. So it's not possible for me to do yoga every single day. In fact, today on International Yoga Day, as you can imagine, it's been an incredibly busy day, but I did sneak in a short practice for 10 minutes. And that was good enough for me today. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half every day. You can begin by doing 10 minutes of pranayam every single morning. And that in itself is something so, so powerful, right? So just a simple breathing practice, a simple meditation practice, a simple practice of Surya Namaskar. And once you begin, you know, once you put the key in the keyhole of the car and ignite the engine, then the car starts moving. So just remember that putting that key into the keyhole and igniting the engine is that first step. And that's the hardest to take. And once you take it, I promise you that 10 minutes will become 15 minutes, will become 20 minutes, will become 30 minutes. And that's the beauty of yoga. You know, that's really what I've seen in my life, that yoga just gives you that beautiful push. And I'll also tell you that getting on your yoga mat is hard every single day, even for yoga teachers, because yoga is an exercise of the mind, not just the body. It's easier to go to the gym. It's easier to go on a jog. It's easier to go on a walk. You're chatting with your friends, walking, but to do yoga, it is a mental discipline as well. And I've seen in my life, and I've been most mentally disciplined, and I've been writing the most. I'm getting on my yoga mat and I'm writing, and that yoga creates a discipline of my mind that I need.
Well, that is very nicely explained, and I must say, Ira, coming from a convert like you, this is very reassuring. For someone who's never tried it, to be told you can always make a start. It doesn't matter whether you've done it before or not, and age is irrelevant. Would you agree?
It's irrelevant. You know, today I did a yoga class in the morning, and we had people from the ages of like 25 to 75, 80, and they were all practicing yoga together. And it was so beautiful. And actually the 75-year-old knew more yoga than the 25-year-old, but they were still practicing together. So I feel like yoga is for all bodies, for all ages, and it can be adapted, right? It can be adapted as such. And remember, you can always begin with Shavasana, the easiest and simplest asana. So begin with Shavasana, and that's also a start. You know, you don't have to do things that, you know, you don't have to do things that are too difficult sometimes. Sometimes just starting with simple and having simple goals and easy goals can be so powerful.
You know, another confession. I don't know why you've gotten me into this mode where I'm making one confession after another, and these are rather embarrassing, Ira. But you know, when people do ask me what my favorite yoga asana is, I do say it is the Shavasana. My apologies for that really bad joke. But
It's an asana. And you know, actually, can I tell you, when people say, oh, Shavasana, you know what my reply to that is? Because I feel, I said, you know, Shavasana is the most difficult asana. It is actually the toughest asana to do because you really have to be as still as a corpse. You know, your breath, your body, your mind all have to be still. So it's a super tough asana to do.
Well, you know, clearly I'm going to remember that next time before I crack that joke with somebody about yoga. But you know, I'm very curious, Ira. You were married to yoga before you married your husband. So has your influence as a yoga teacher and someone who's so passionate about it rubbed off on the husband yet?
It has. It has. Definitely my husband, Madhu, he is coming to our yoga class this evening. We have a special yoga class at our studio here in Bombay. And he's attending and he said that I'm really busy, but I want to make sure that I attend this class, not for me, but for the practice. So he was not a yoga person before, but he found, for example, you mentioned yin yoga. He loves yin yoga. He really finds himself drawn to that practice. And it's something so beautiful. For him, a traditional hatha yoga practice isn't his go-to practice, but he found something that he loves. I also feel that a practice of yoga helped him find his spiritual center. When he saw the impact that yoga and spirituality was having on my life, he definitely took that into his life. And in fact, he's a movie producer and he's making Ramayana and Mahabharata. That's his Swadharma, his mission in life. And definitely that spiritual component of bhakti has helped him on his journey. So yoga is many things. It's not just a physical practice. It's also bhakti yoga. It's also karma yoga. It's also Raj yoga, the yoga of the mind. So I feel that he's definitely connected to yoga. And even the physical practice is a very, very meditative, restorative practice because there's so much stress in his life that he really needs this practice, which can calm down his parasympathetic nervous system.
In fact, I want to dwell a little further on that era because, you know, it is now well established that yoga isn't just for the body, it is equally for the mind and the soul. Needless to say, we live in very tough and stressful times. We are coming off the COVID pandemic, which perhaps has been the toughest period for a vast majority of people in their lives. And even otherwise, you know, given the kind of lives we lead, it is pretty stressful, most of the time. In that context, you know, when we are looking for a release, when we are looking for some sort of an escape, or for healing for that matter, do you believe that yoga now plays a very important role in that transformation? I mean, sure, we can still go and talk to our therapists, but that yoga can actually be a very important part of that journey now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yoga is not just physical, but remember, yoga can begin at the physical as well. I've seen people overcome serious mental health issues with a yoga practice. I'm not saying that it's for everyone, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't see a therapist, but yoga and a yogic lifestyle has a definite positive impact on mental health and various degrees. It, of course, can counter stress on a physical, emotional level, on a scientific level as well. We're moving into our parasympathetic nervous system that I keep on mentioning because it is so important. Our nervous system is composed of the sympathetic nervous system, which is our more active part of the nervous system, and then the parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about rest and digest. So with yoga, you're really stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, and therefore can have immense benefits on that part of the body, which is constantly stressed. I think especially for women as well, it's so good for the hormones. You know, I think, women go through different phases of life and hormonal health goes up and down and up and down. And our hormones are constantly changing with age and different phases of life, like motherhood and so on. So I definitely believe that especially for women, to maintain their endocrine system and hormonal health, because we all know that hormones are directly related to our mood, right? We all go through PMS, etc. Yoga can be a beautiful thing of countering mood swings, with PMS as well. So I do feel that yoga on multiple levels is so beautiful and so positive. And definitely, as we face a mental health crisis more than ever before, yoga, and especially the pranayama and meditation part of yoga, can be of great help.
Any other specific asanas that you would recommend for somebody who might be dealing with a mental health crisis, Ira?
Yes, I would definitely say two practices that I'm going to prescribe here. One is just, it's a very simple technique of abdominal breathing. So you can place one hand on your belly and just slowly begin to breathe in from the nostrils, inhaling on 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for 4 counts. And slowly with control exhale on 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale on 1, 2, 3, 4. And slowly with control exhale on 1, 2, 3, 4. So really simple breathing. And the other thing that I want to explain is Anulom Vilom Pranayam, alternate nostril breathing. You can take your right hand in the Vishnu Mudra, middle finger, and point your finger on the palm, bring the right thumb to the right nostril, other 2 fingers on the left, and keeping the right nostril closed, inhaling from the left, closing both nostrils, and then slowly exhaling from the right. Inhale from the right, retain, and exhaling from the left. Inhaling from the left, retain, and exhaling from the right. Inhaling from the right, retain, and exhaling from the left. I just demonstrated this to you, but I'm already feeling a deep sense of calm with this practice. So definitely, this is such a beautiful, simple pranayam. And I think you should consider starting this tomorrow to begin on your yoga journey.
I am going to put this on my to-do list. Really appreciate you actually demonstrating.
So simple.
Yes.
So simple.
Yes, and we really appreciate you demonstrating this for our viewers, Ira. I'm sure it will inspire many to take up yoga if they haven't already. Final question, Ira, before we let you go. Your one message today on International Yoga Day to all yoga lovers out there and those who haven't taken up yoga yet.
I would say today is the best day of the year to take up a yoga practice. Today is the day. So begin with something simple and begin your practice, and you will not regret it. There's one thing, you will never, ever, ever regret doing a practice of yoga. On that note, thank you very much and for having me and asking all these wonderful questions. And I look forward to seeing you in your yoga journey and seeing everyone else. Of course, I'm on Instagram at Ira Trivedi and at Yoga. You can follow me for any personal questions that you have. I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful. And I'm sure after watching this interview, many will want to reach out to you on social media, Ira. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your time. And once again, many congratulations on your wedding. All right, keeping our focus on yoga, let's now play out this report that's been sent by my colleague Nishant Chaturvedi all the way from New York.
ये देखिए कितने सारे लोग यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, ये देखिए, और ये जोश देखिए। अच्छा एक बात बताइए, आप अंदर, ये देखिए,
अंदर जाने के लिए क्या करना है, लेकिन
आप अंदर नहीं जा पाए, लेकिन यहीं पर जोश भर कर
जो मचा रहे हैं वो तो उसमें जोश तो है ना।
ये देखिए, अमेरिका वेलकम्स नरेंद्र मोदी, ये जोश देखिए, ये देखिए। सर कहाँ से आए आप?
हम न्यू जर्सी से आए।
और मैं ये जोश देख रहा हूँ, ये तो अपने आप में अनप्रेसिडेंटेड है एकदम।
या राइट।
और उधर देखिए जरा, वो तस्वीरें देखिए, ये जोश इन लोगों का है। समीर, दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव टू कैप्चर। यहाँ पर सामने मेरे ठीक उधर पे देखिए, यूएन का कार्यक्रम अब से कुछ क्षणों में शुरू होने वाला है, लेकिन ये जोश देखिए आप जरा इन लोगों का, और ये अपने आप में बता रहा है कि दिस इज समथिंग डिफरेंट। मैं मैम TV9 से हूँ।
TV9 से, oh yeah, वंदे मातरम।
Welcome Modi, we love Modi very well.
लीडर, फैंटास्टिक लीडर।
आप अंदर की बात बताइए, मोदी साहब कहाँ दिखाएंगे?
अच्छा, ये देखिए तस्वीरें देखिए। अच्छा ये बताइए, आप लोग सब लोग आए कहाँ से? सब जर्सी सिटी से।
पारसी बनी।
ओके। समीर, क्या आपको लग रहा है कि मैं अभी अमेरिका में हूँ? शायद नहीं दिख रहा होगा।
Look at this beautiful spread. I think for him to leave India, to come here, represent himself and all Indians across in the main heart of the entire world, the United Nations.
Happy International Yoga Day, and hope everybody in the world will be happy and healthy.
हम लोग बहुत भाग्यशाली हैं कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी आज हमारे पास मौजूद हैं योगा डे सेलिब्रेशन करने के लिए। ये उन्हीं का ही एक क्रिएटिव बीज है जो छोटी सी पंखुड़ी से लेके आज एक इतना बड़ा वृक्ष बन गया, जिसने कि यूनाइटेड नेशन ऑल अराउंड द ग्लोब, one common organization has now accepted yoga as a part of the practice.
I love yoga and I've been doing yoga for many years, and so this is a fantastic opportunity to be doing yoga with the Prime Minister.
Very special, important event because I've practiced yoga for 5 years, and being able to be in the UN with Prime Minister Modi, it's a life-changing event for me because I'm studying international relations, so it's like a combination of my work at the UN.
Yoga offers a haven of calm. It can reduce anxiety and promote mental well-being. It helps us to develop discipline and patience. It connects us to our planet, which so badly needs our protection. And it reveals our common humanity, helping us to understand that despite our differences, we are one. On this International Day of Yoga, let us embrace the spirit of unity and resolve to build a better, more harmonious world for people, planet, and ourselves.
Modi, 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 Vande Mataram, 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 Vande
So a lot of excitement there in the United States, understandable, because not only are people celebrating the International Day of Yoga, these are members of the Indian American community who have gathered in large numbers to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They're obviously very excited about the Prime Minister's historic 3-day visit. The Prime Minister in attendance today at the United Nations headquarters in New York to personally lead the Yoga Day celebrations. It was in 2014, remember, when the Modi government... okay, before we get into that, these are visuals, as you can see, of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the UN headquarters in New York, offering floral tributes to Father of the Nation, Mahatma Gandhi. As I was saying earlier, it was in 2014 when the Prime Minister first came to office that his government moved a motion at the United Nations for the 21st of June to be observed as the International Yoga Day. And well, this proposal was adopted almost with unanimous support, with a few exceptions like Pakistan. But a vast majority of countries were clearly on board with the decision to declare the 21st of June as the International Day of Yoga. And we have seen how its popularity has grown by leaps and bounds with every passing year.
जिस बात का जिक्र हम और हमारे तमाम मेहमान कर रहे थे कि भारत और भारतीयता का जो विचार है उसको आगे रखने में महात्मा गांधी किस तरीके से भारतीयता को आगे दुनिया के मंच तक लेकर गए हैं और उनकी प्रतिमा की मौजूदगी उस पर पुष्पांजलि देना, कार्यांजलि से पहले पुष्पांजलि, ये भी दिखाता है कि किस तरीके से भारत और भारतीयता का
भारत गांधी जी से हमेशा प्रेरणा पाता रहा है और ऐसे किसी बड़े मौके पर प्रधानमंत्री उनको श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करना नहीं भूले हैं। इस बड़े इवेंट के लिए प्रधानमंत्री की मौजूदगी पहुंच चुकी है और प्रधानमंत्री का स्वागत किसी हीरो की तरह होता है। ये हम सब के लिए एक बड़ा
यहाँ भी हमको
रेड कारपेट दिखाई पड़ रहा है और हम सब के लिए, हम भारतीयों के लिए तो बहुत बड़ा दिन ये कहा जाएगा, बहुत गौरव का दिन कहा जाएगा। और ये जो इतनी बड़ी संख्या में आप देख सकते
I
हैं।
appreciate your cooperation. Thank you for continuing to stay in your spot and be seated. We will start the program very shortly. And again, if you need any assistance whatsoever, we have our volunteers standing by to help. They're wearing their yellow caps so that you may identify them easily. You can see many sculptures that we have here on the North Lawn. But today, the Gandhiji statue is one that is so dear to many of us here. The principles that he holds and the concept of ahimsa is one that many of us are very familiar with, that many world leaders are embodying, and we see this as we look around to many people who aim to be the change that they want to see in the world.
All right, you can see a huge number of people have gathered there at the United Nations headquarters in New York on the International Day of Yoga. On your screens right now are pictures of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's accompanied by a big contingent as he in fact leads from the front as International Yoga Day is celebrated across the world, particularly at the United Nations headquarters. As we said, it was all the way back in 2014 when the Modi government had come to power for the first time that a proposal was moved at the United Nations to celebrate today, the 21st of June, as the International Day of Yoga. This proposal was enthusiastically supported by most nations, and today you can see not only is yoga extremely popular all over the world, especially in the United States of America, the Prime Minister himself is leading the Yoga Day celebrations today.
Brothers and sisters, all of those watching on web TV and joining us today, namaste. A very warm welcome to everyone. Happy International Day of Yoga 2023. This is the time that we've all been waiting for. The time has come for me to share how much we're deeply honored. We are so privileged to have with us today none other than the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, a distinguished world leader and an ardent yoga practitioner. I'd like to remind everyone that it is Prime Minister Modi ji himself back in December 2014 who introduced the idea of establishing World Yoga Day to the UN General Assembly. A record number of 175 member states recognized yoga's universal appeal and adopted the landmark resolution proclaiming June 21 as International Yoga Day, the day of the summer solstice here in the north. So every 21 of June is World Yoga Day. This day provides people everywhere across the globe, all of us and everyone watching, an opportunity to reflect upon the countless benefits of practicing yoga. Indeed, an invaluable gift in the world from India's ancient tradition. We thank the Honorable Prime Minister of India for this notable initiative, which is now celebrated worldwide with enthusiasm and vigor. I will now begin the official part of today's event by requesting Ambassador Ruchira Kamboj, India's permanent representative to the United Nations, to the stage to deliver her opening remarks.
Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Mr. President of the General Assembly, Madam Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Mayor, distinguished ambassadors, distinguished guests, and all my dear friends and colleagues from this wonderful audience. Today's celebration is indeed very, very special. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead us in doing yoga here at the United Nations lawns. To put matters in perspective, it was under his leadership and under his guidance that 21st June was declared as International Yoga Day, and it is only fitting, therefore, that the inspiration behind the idea is with us today in this scenic, multicultural setting of the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly beautiful to see so many around the world gather in solidarity for yoga. It is not living with the burden of weight or the lightness of oblivion. It is a choice made with balance, an idiosyncratic beauty, timeless throughout the progress of humanity. Yoga has endured. It is truth beyond articulation, wisdom beyond time. I hope all of you will cherish 21st June this year and hold it close to your hearts, today and forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Kamboj, for your remarks. It's my turn now to invite the Honorable President of the UN General Assembly, Mr. Chaba Karoshi, for the stage.
Honorable Prime Minister, Madam Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Mayor, Madam Ambassador, dear friends, Namaste. Yoga is a way of uniting mind and body, and also the environment and us. The most memorable university lectures I attended as a student many years ago were on cultural traditions of ancient Eastern civilizations. They helped me understand that we are part of nature, despite regarding ourselves as aristocratically detached from other creatures. I also learned that the energies in the universe and inside us abide by the same law, a desire to achieve balance. Yoga changes our physical performance. But more importantly, it can spark in us different mental and intellectual performance. With the control that it teaches over ourselves, we learn how to make change and impact. Since that university lecture, I've been an admirer of yoga. I'm very proud of my daughter, who has already reached a high level of practice and is continuing her journey. Thanks to her, I understand better yoga's ethical guide. The guide which includes the principle of non-stealing, non-greed, non-hoarding, and non-violence. In other words, yoga's ethical guide to living is a guide to sustainability, not overusing resources that belong to all of us, not prioritizing short-term gains over planetary boundaries, and working for transformation. Our world needs balance, self-control, and creativity, just as it needs recognition of moral responsibilities and cherishing peace and justice. There are many ways to approach these aims. Yoga is one of the means, for which I have a special respect. I'm happy to be here with all of you today. But let me apologize in advance. I am not a yoga practitioner, and the positions which you will show might look very different from what I end up doing. Still, I'm here with an open heart and open mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Karoshi, for highlighting the transformative power of yoga and in such a very personal way. At this time, I would now ask that Mayor Eric Adams, the mayor of the city of New York, please take the stage.
To Prime Minister Modi, to President of the General Assembly, to Deputy Secretary General, to Your Excellencies, to the Ambassador, to all of you, do not miss the significance of this moment. New York City is the largest and most important city in America. As I stand before you as the mayor of that city, I share with you in a clear and a universal tone that we are no longer focused solely on the physical body, but the anatomy of our spirit. For far too long, we have separated what our needs are emotionally, spiritually, and physically. We are going to go to the root causes of that which troubles many of us, from how we interact, to the food we eat, to allowing our children to have breathing exercises in the morning as they start their school day, to challenge the mental health issues that's impacting us. But there's a larger challenge for all of us. What we do on the mat in practicing yoga must become what we do on the streets and in our countries. We cannot become universally connected through the yellow mats we lay on, but disconnected as we move through our communities. Use the spirit and emotions of yoga to challenge and fight against war, to fight against gender oppression, to fight against violence, to fight against the lack of clean water, to fight against the food insecurity, to fight against the destruction of our planet. Our connectivity is not only how we're connected to our families and our parents. We have two mothers. One gave birth to us and one sustains us. Yoga keeps us connected to both mothers and connected to each other. This International Yoga Day is an international call for us to stand up for humankind across the globe and all living beings. I'm proud to be here, and I'm proud to symbolically represent this city as stating the International Yoga Day is an international call that we will be a leader here in New York City, as you are a leader in your own environments. Thank you for allowing me to rejoice with you today.
Thank you, Mayor Adams, for spotlighting how yoga is integral to the anatomy of one's spirit. We appreciate that perspective and input. I'd like now to go to the video message of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who is not available to be with us in person, but is here in spirit. Please let us go to the videotape.
Happy International Day of Yoga. I want to recognize Prime Minister Modi for all he has done to promote understanding of yoga and its many benefits. Yoga unites. It unites body and mind, humanity and nature, and millions of people across the globe for whom it is a source of strength, harmony, and peace. In a dangerous and divided world, the benefits of this ancient practice are particularly precious. Yoga offers a haven of calm. It can reduce anxiety and promote mental well-being. It helps us to develop discipline and patience. It connects us to our planet, which so badly needs our protection. And it reveals our common humanity, helping us to understand that despite our differences, we are one. On this International Day of Yoga, let us embrace the spirit of unity and resolve to build a better, more harmonious world for people, planet, and ourselves.
Friends, it is one of the deepest honors and privileges of my life to extend a heartfelt welcome. A heartfelt welcome and an invitation to no one else but the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Modi ji. I ask that on this auspicious occasion that he join us and that he address us with his remarks. Let us give him a very, very warm welcome.
Thank you. Your Excellency Chaba Koroshi, President of UN General Assembly, Her Excellency Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the Union, His Excellency Eric Adams, Mayor of New York, and my dear friends from all over the world. Namaskar. Friends, on this fine morning, we are gathered here at the United Nations, at the meeting point of entire humanity. In this wonderful city of New York, I know many of you have come here from far away. Most of you have woken up before sunrise and made the effort to come here. I am delighted to see you all, and I thank you all for coming. Friends, I am told that almost every nationality is represented here today. And what an amazing cause to bring us all together, yoga. Yoga means to unite. So your coming together is an expression of another form of yoga. I remember about 9 years ago, right here at the UN, I had the honor to propose celebrating the International Day of Yoga on 21st June. It was wonderful to see The entire world came together to support the idea back then. I've just paid respect to the brave UN peacekeepers. In 2015, I had called for a new memorial to be built at the UN in their memory. And last week, the whole world joined hands with India to make this reality soon. As the largest troop contributing nation, we are grateful to all nations for their expression of support to this noble cause. Last year, the entire world came together to support India's proposal to celebrate 2023 as the International Year of Millets. Millets are a superfood. They promote holistic health and are good for environment too. And today, it is wonderful to see the entire world come together again for yoga. Friends, yoga comes from India, and it is a very old tradition. But like all ancient Indian traditions, it is also living and dynamic. Yoga is free from copyright, free from patents, and free from royalty payments. Yoga is adaptable to your age, gender, and fitness level. Yoga is portable. You can do it at home or at work or in transit. Yoga is flexible. You can practice it alone or in a group, learn from a teacher or be self-taught. Yoga is unifying. It is for everyone, for all ethnicities, for all faiths, and for all cultures. Yoga is truly universal. Friends, when we do yoga, we feel physically fit, mentally calm, and emotionally content. But it is not just about doing exercise on a mat. Yoga is a way of life, a holistic approach to health and well-being, a way to mindfulness in thoughts and actions, a way to live in harmony with self, with others, and with nature. I am delighted that many of you are working on scientifically validating different aspects of yoga. Indeed, this is the way. Friends, I know you are all keen to get started. Well, so am I. I want to thank the United Nations for hosting us here today. I am grateful to the Mayor and the City of New York for all their help and support in making this event success. And most of all, want to thank you all once again for being here today. Let us use the power of yoga not only to be healthy, happy, but also to be kind to ourselves and to each others. Let us use the power of yoga to build bridges of friendship, a peaceful world, and a cleaner, greener, and sustainable future. Let us join hands together to realize the goal of one earth, one family, one future. I conclude with a wish. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya. May everyone be happy. May everyone be healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister Modi ji, for conveying such an inspirational message to us, for elaborating more about our theme, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, and stressing how yoga is really a way of life. At this time, I request that our esteemed dignitaries please leave the stage and join us below for the yoga lesson, because we would like to start that soon. You may. Friends, I'm now going to call upon yoga instructor Miss Annalise Richmond so that she can join on the stage.
Quickly.
We're going to prepare the stage so that we can get it ready for our yoga lesson. I've mentioned before that we'll have 6 energetic youngsters leading us along with Miss Annalise Richmond in this lesson. And we have more in the first row here on the north lawn joining us so that people behind can also follow that way too. I'm requesting that everyone stay on your yoga mat in your spot and to follow our yoga instructor and our yoga practitioners to the best of our ability. It's such a beautiful morning to have this opportunity to engage in yoga. The sun is not so strong, and we have a nice breeze coming through, which makes for a very pleasant morning for us to all share in this collective group. I'm delighted now to hand over the floor to our accomplished yoga instructor, Miss Annalise Richmond, who will now start our yoga session.
Thank you, Denise. A very warm welcome to our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji and dignitaries. It is an honor to have you with us in our midst. We are delighted. Namaste. Let us all enter into the world of yoga together. Can you hear me in the back? Yes. Good. Let's bring our hands together in front of the heart in prayer pose. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And we'll do an invocation together. We'll be chanting Om 3 times together. Let's close the eyes. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And let us chant Om. Deep breath in. Breathe in.
संगच्छध्वं संवदध्वं संवो मनांसि जानता देवाभागं यथा पूर्वे संज्ञानाना उपासते संज्ञानाना उपासते संज्ञानाना उपासते.
Let's relax our hands in our lap. And when you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. We'll start our yoga sadhana, our yoga practice, with some loosening exercises to increase the circulation in the body. So let's stand up. We'll start in samastiti, alert posture. So the feet 2 to 3 inches apart from each other in parallel. Stand with the spine tall. And let's bring our hands onto our waist. We'll do neck exercises first. Be careful in case of any neck injuries or cervical spondylitis here. Let's inhale, stretch the spine. Exhale, bring the chin to the chest as much as you can, all the way to the chest. Inhale, raise the head back up. Exhale, let the chin and head fall back, face to the sky. Inhale, head to the center. Exhale, chin to the chest. Relax. Inhale, bring the head back to the center. Exhale, let the head go back, stretching the front of the neck. And one more time, inhale to the center. Exhale, chin to the chest. Stretch the back of the neck. Inhale the head to the center. You can smile. And exhale, let the head go back gently. Open the throat and chest. Inhale back to the center. Relax. Good. Keeping the hands on the waist, we'll twist the neck from right to left. Be careful not to jerk the neck. Let's inhale, stand tall. Exhale, turn the chin over the right shoulder. Look all the way over to the right. Feel the stretch in the left side of the neck. Inhale back to the center. Smile. Exhale, the chin over the left shoulder. Feel the stretch in the right side of the neck. Good. Inhale back to the center. And exhale, chin over the right shoulder. Look as far as you can with the eyes. Inhale, back to the center. Breathe in. Exhale, chin over the left shoulder. Look to the left. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. And exhale, relax. Good. Now we'll do trunk twisting to warm up the body and spine. Be careful of any spinal injuries in this warm-up. So let's bring the feet 1 foot apart. Feet in parallel in samastiti, alert posture. Back is tall. Inhale, take the arms out in front of you, hands parallel to each other. Exhale, keep the hips where they are. Turn just the upper body to the right. Left palm towards the right shoulder. Look to the right. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. Palms facing each other. Exhale, twist just the upper body to the left. Palm facing the left shoulder. Good. Inhale, come back. Looking forward, palms facing each other. Exhale, twist just the upper body to the right. Look to the right. Left palm to the right shoulder. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. And exhale, twist just the upper body to the left. Right palm towards the left shoulder. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. You can smile. Exhale, relax. Good. Now let's start our yoga asanas or yoga postures. We'll start with Tadasana, the palm tree posture. If you have any arthritis in the lower extremities, don't raise up onto your ankles in this posture. So for Tadasana, we'll start in Samastiti, feet 2 to 3 inches apart from each other. And inhale, raise the arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, clasp the fingers and push the palms away from you. Good. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale here, lengthen the spine. Inhale, come up onto the toes and breathe here. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, grow taller. And breathe out. Slowly lower down the feet. Unclasp the hands slowly with awareness on the body. Lower the arms down slowly. Good. And relax. And now again, let's bring the feet 2 to 3 inches apart. Samastiti, alert posture. We'll take a back bend. If you have any vertigo or back injuries, be careful with this pose. So Ardha Chakrasana, the half wheel posture. Let's take the hands to the waist. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, slide the fingers back to support the back, elbows in parallel behind the back. Inhale, let the head go back, opening the front of the neck. As you exhale, bend from the lumbar spine, go back carefully and easily as far back as you can. And let's breathe here. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Awareness on the whole body. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Inhale, lift the chest, come back up. Slowly. Good. And exhale, relax. Good. We'll take a forward bend. Pada Hastasana, the hands to the feet posture. So keeping the feet in parallel, 2 to 3 inches apart from each other. Inhale, take the arms up from the front, all the way up. And exhale, bending only from the hip joint. Keep the legs straight. Start to reach forward. Stretch your fingertips forward till your body is like a table parallel to the ground. And now slowly lower the fingertips down. Either bring the hands to the shins or fingertips to the ground or the palms on the ground if you can. Drop your head towards your knees. Let's take a few deep breaths. Breathe in. And breathe out. Keep the legs straight. Breathe in. As you breathe out, head towards the knees. Breathe in. Breathe out. Go a little further. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Inhale, slide the fingertips forward. Stretch the arms forward. Let the back come up with the arms. Breathe in slowly. Come all the way up. Smile. Good. And relax. Excellent. And we'll go to the floor. You can just stretch the legs out in front of you. Put your hands behind your back in a relaxed posture. Let the head go back a little. Vishramasana. This is our relaxation pose. And now let's bring the feet together. Toes pointing up to the sky. Hands beside the hips, spine tall. Tadasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Good. Exhale, press the hips into the ground. And now we'll do Bhadrasana, the firm posture. So be careful in this posture in case of sciatica or arthritis. Let's inhale, bring the feet together, soles of the feet together. Exhale, wrap your hands around your feet. Good. Inhale, sit tall. And exhale, pull the heels as close as you can to the perineum. Relax. If you like, you can even close your eyes here. Breathe in. Exhale, let the knees drop towards the ground. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe into the whole body. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Gently stretch the legs back out. Put the hands behind your back. Recline back just a little. Again, Vishramasana. Let the head fall back a little. Good. And again, we'll come into Dandasana. The toes pointing up, hands beside the hips. Press down into the ground a little. Lengthen the spine. Breathe in. Exhale. We'll come into Vajrasana, the diamond pose. Be careful of this pose in case of ankle or knee injuries. Let's inhale, bring the right heel towards the right buttocks. Exhale. Inhale, left heel towards the left buttocks. Place the buttocks in the space between the toes and the heels. Hands on the knees. And you can gaze softly downwards or close the eyes. Let's take a few deep breaths with the awareness on the whole body. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. One more breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And when you feel ready, you can open the eyes. Good. We'll take a back bend. We'll take the half camel posture, Ardha Ustrasana. Let's inhale, come up onto our knees. Ooh, that's a relief, isn't it? Okay, and let's bring our hands onto our lower back. Be careful in this pose in case of vertigo or any spinal injuries. So let's inhale here. Bring the elbows towards each other behind the back. Let the head fall back. And exhale, bend backwards from the upper back, arching backwards. Chest to the sky. Breathe in, breathe out. Let the head fall back easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time. Breathe in and out. Inhale, come back up slowly with awareness on the whole body. Good. Exhale, gently relax. Good. Now we'll bend forward. So we'll take Shashakasana, the hare posture. So be careful in case of osteoarthritis of the knees. You can come out of this posture. Yeah? Inhale, open the knees. Exhale, let's put the hands between the legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, slide forward gently and slowly, all the way, keeping the arms in parallel with each other. Bring the chin to the ground if you can, and relax the whole body. If the chin doesn't want to touch the ground, bring the forehead to the ground and relax. Breathe into your hips. Breathe in. Breathe out. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more gentle breath in and out. Good. Inhale, come back up slowly with awareness on the whole body. Breathe in. Exhale, close the knees. Good. And we'll take the stretched up frog posture, Uttana Madhukasana. So inhale, let's take the knees to the side. Again, if this is bothering your knees, you can sit in a different position for this. Yeah. Inhale, take the arms up from the front, stretch the spine, smile, and exhale, bend from the elbows only, the palms onto alternate shoulder blades. Right palm on the left shoulder blade, left palm on the right shoulder blade. See if you can keep the chin parallel to the earth. And let's take a few deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe into the chest. Notice the chest is opening. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can smile. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Inhale, Raise the arms up. Good. Exhale. Relax. And you can close the knees. And the moment you've been waiting for, let's slide down onto our mat on our stomach. Come all the way down. Make a pillow with the hands. Turn your head to the right side. Take your feet 2 feet apart or so. Let them splay out to the side. Turn the head. Put it onto the hands. Makarasana, crocodile pose. You're like a crocodile resting in the sun. Let the breath relax. Good. Now bring the legs together. Take the arms out in front of you. You can have them resting on the ground. We'll do Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Be careful of this pose in case of hernia or any abdominal injuries. Inhale, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows close to the body. Exhale here. And inhale, lift the head, chin, chest, upper chest until the navel. And breathe here. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Relax the shoulders. Push them down and back. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more breath in. Come a little higher. And exhale. Slowly lower down. Again, make the pillow with the hands. Turn the head this time to the left side. Legs apart. Makarasana on the other side. Crocodile pose. Resting in the sun. Let the breath relax. Now gently, let's turn onto our backs. Gently roll to the back. Relax. And we'll do Pavan Muktasana, the wind-freeing posture. So inhale, bring the knees up. Exhale, bring the knees to the chest, towards the chest. Inhale, clasp the fingers together, place them on the shins, wrap the arms around the legs. Exhale, bring the forehead towards the knees until the chin or nose touches the knees. Breathe in and breathe out. Deep breaths. Awareness on the whole body. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath. Breathe in. And exhale. Release the head down. Relax the legs. Slide them down onto the ground. Let the legs be 1 to 2 feet apart. Let the toes fall out to the sides. And the arms by your sides. Palms facing up to the sky. Relaxing the arms on the ground. Shavasana or corpse pose. Relax the whole body. Become aware of the natural flow of the breath. And let's take our attention to our toes and feet, ankles, legs, knees, thighs, and hips, our abdomen, stomach, chest, shoulders, right arm and hand, Eyes are closed. Left arm and hand. The neck and the throat. The head and face. Eyes. The top of the head. The whole body. The whole body. Slowly and gradually, take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let's turn and rest on our right side for a moment, resting on the right side. Slowly and gently, come all the way back up to a comfortable, easy seated position. You can sit cross-legged if you like, or in lotus or half lotus. Sit with the spine tall. And we'll practice some breathing techniques or pranayama. So with the spine tall, let's bring our hands into Gyan Mudra. A mudra is a hand position that directs the flow of prana or energy in the body. So index finger and thumb are lightly touching, and the backs of the hands resting on the lap. Good. We'll do Kapalabhati breathing. So in Kapalabhati breathing, we'll be forcefully contracting the abdomen, and the air forcefully shoots out of the nose like this. In Kapalabhati breathing, after we contract the abdomen and the air comes out of the nose, the inhalation happens on its own. Okay? We'll take 20 repetitions of Kapalabhati breathing. So let's close the eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And we'll take 20 rounds of Kapalabhati. Let's begin. Relax. Let the eyes closed. Relax the hands. Notice the energy or prana in the body, all over the body. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Good. And we'll do Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, or alternate nostril breathing. So let's bring the left hand into Jnana Mudra. Index finger and thumb lightly touching, other 3 fingers extended. Rest the left hand on the knee, left knee. And the right hand, let's take it into Pranayama Mudra. So you'll bring the index and middle finger towards the palm. And place the right thumb on the right nostril. Close the nostril. And exhale out of the left nostril. Close the eyes. Good. Inhale through the left nostril. Close it with the ring finger. And exhale out of the right nostril. Good. Inhale through the right. Close the nostril with the thumb. Exhale out of the left. Inhale through the left. Close with the ring finger. Exhale out of the right. Inhale through the right. Close with the thumb. Exhale out of the left. Inhale through the left nostril. Close with the ring finger. Exhale out of the right. If you like, you can bring it into Gyan Mudra. Relax the hands and notice the balance in the body and the balance between the right and left hemisphere of the brain. And when you feel ready, you can gently and slowly open your eyes. We'll do one more pranayama, Brahmari pranayama. So let's bring again the hands into Gyan Mudra, index finger and thumb lightly touching. In Brahmari pranayama, we'll be making the sound of a bee, a humming sound, like this. We'll do this with a special mudra called Shanmukhi mudra. We'll be closing off all of the senses. Yeah? So let's bring the hands towards the face. Shanmukhi mudra, we close the eyes, gently touch the index fingers onto the eyelids, and then the middle fingers onto both sides of the nose without closing the nostrils. The ring finger above the lips, right below the nose, and place the pinky finger right beneath the lips. And we'll be, in a moment, closing the ear flaps with the thumbs. And we're going to be taking deep breaths in and breathing out with the humming sound 3 times. So let's go ahead and close the ear flaps with the thumbs. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out with a humming sound. Deep breath in. Again with the humming sound. One more time. Deep breath in. Breathe out. With the eyes closed, relax the hands in the lap. We'll be practicing dhyan or meditation. You can keep your eyes closed and bring the hands into dhyan mudra, which is into the center of the lap. Bring the right hand into the center of the lap, palms facing up, and the left hand into the center of the lap, and bring the right hand on top of it, both palms facing up. The palms are stacked. And with the eyes closed, let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Relax the shoulders. Take a long, deep breath in. As you breathe out, feel the weight of the body dropped onto the ground where you're sitting. Become aware of the whole body and become aware of all the sounds around you. Any sounds that you hear, notice them and let the sounds be there as they are. You are in harmony with the environment as it is. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of any thoughts that are floating through the mind. Do not resist any thoughts. Let them come. Now you are in harmony with the thoughts, with the mind. And become aware of any feelings, pleasant or unpleasant. Accept the feelings as they are. You are peace. You are joy. Breathe in and let go. Again, become aware of your feelings. Become aware of your thoughts. Become aware of your whole body. And let's immerse ourselves in the sounds.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् शांति शांति
Take a deep breath in and breathe out. A long, deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your whole body and where you're seated on the earth. Breathe in and breathe out, and slowly and gently, when you feel ready, you can gradually open your eyes. Good. Namaste.
Om Shanti Shanti Om, everyone. What an uplifting and revitalizing yoga session we've had. And the sun even started to come out even more, shining its rays upon us so gloriously. We're here in this beautiful north lawn of the United Nations headquarters in New York City, celebrating World Yoga Day 2023. A sincere thank you, Annalise Richmond, and to all our young yoga practitioners who've helped to demonstrate during this yoga session. We have an unforgettable event with them and for the youngsters in the first row leading us as well this morning. One more round of thanks to them as they exit the stage and take their leave.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Have a beautiful day.
Our deepest gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, for gracing us with his presence and in creating this wonderful memory at the iconic United Nations headquarters that we cherish from years to come. Friends, I am going to ask if you can please stay in your seats. Please remain seated while the Honorable Prime Minister of India meets and greets participants. The Honorable Prime Minister will meet and greet participants. May I ask for your cooperation and your understanding.
BrahMos, stealthy, lethal, precise. It flies at 3 times the speed of sound and cuts through a warship like a hot knife through butter. China's navy has threatened its neighbors and they are turning to the BrahMos for protection. The warship killer. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now. China won't let us rest easy on our borders, but they will keep flooding our markets. What does Xi Jinping really want?
I think he wants the Indian market, no doubt about it. It's really a matter of showing their dominance.
India's great Chinese conundrum.
Nobody can contain it. Not the United States, not China, not anybody else.
Frenemies. This and more streaming on the